I have a long video today talking about the future superstars of the UFC, and I'm not talking about Ian Machado Gary. Um, so before we start, I just want to say, um, Jason McVeigh and his fight was canceled. They were gonna do the guy that fought last weekend, huge guy that fought heavyweight before, and he moved to middleweight, but that's not going to be happening either. So we have one fight down so far for the UFC card this weekend. But with that being said, let's get into it. First up, Loner Kavanaugh and Joshua Van, I think, are going to be future superstars in the UFC. I tried to do two on each one, but some weight classes just don't have enough talent, in my opinion, and some just aren't ready. So I tried to do two in most of these categories, but some I was not able to. But Loner Kavanaugh and Joshua Van starting out. Um, Loner Kavanaugh can become a star. He already has some hype around him. Got a KO on the Contender Series last year. Undefeated. Very elite striking. He finishes fights early. Um, Loner, he's young. He has a lot to improve on. Um, that's why I have him on the list. As long as he has a good team around him and he can correct some of his mistakes and he can do that in a good manner of time, I think he will be at the top of the division for a while in the future and for the next coming years. Joshua Van, of course, had to put him on the list. He's fighting for a title, you know. He's young, only been training for a few years, about 6 years. Already getting a title shot, as I said. Um, just back last year, he got slept by Charles Johnson. Worked his way back, and he's already on his way to being elite. Um, Superstar already, but I think he'll be in the top 8 for a while at least. Even if he loses his upcoming fight, he's young, not the end of the world. He can come back from it, improve. There's already some things that he can improve on, but um, yeah, so that's who I have in the flyweight division. Next up, Charles Jourdain and Malcolm Wellmaker in the 135 division. First off, starting off with Charles Jourdain. Crazy finishes, dude. We just seen what he did to Davy Grant, flying knee, and then he got the guillotine on him. Just amazing. Got him a lot more attention with that fight, hopefully. Now that his brother's in the UFC, I think the UFC can do something with that, or at least Charles for right now. Only a 2 fight win streak, but his last 2 fights he's gotten subs, and they're both under 2 rounds, so that's very impressive. Still young, not in his prime yet. He's 29 years old. Still has a lot of chances to improve on stuff, but I think he needs to be a little smarter as he moves up in the rankings. You can't always be throwing flying knees, spinning attacks at some of these higher ranked fighters, especially in the bantamweight division. There are a lot of very skilled fighters, very smart fighters in the bantamweight division. Um, so I think Charles is a really hard worker, really smart and technical, and as long as he stays on this path, he can be at the top really soon. And now, call me a casual, whatever, you know. This dude's striking is just amazing, very smart. He's just beautiful striking. Haven't really got to see much grappling yet. Gonna see that soon. He just got a short notice opponent for UFC 322. So probably another crazy KO for Malcolm Wellmaker. A lot of hype around him right now. I like his story, you know. He regular 9 to 5. Now he's got a career in the UFC that he can do full time. Um a lot to be seen yet from the kid, but I think he can make it to the top 10 in the future. Um, really, really like Malcolm Wellmaker. I know we haven't seen too much of him, but I believe he's going to be great. But this take could age very poorly. Um, Next up, Jean Silva and Jose Delgado are my picks for the 145 division. Starting off with Jean Silva, real shitty fight last time. He let his emotions get the best of him. Really unprofessional of him to punch Diego after the fight, but you know, Diego Lopez is not a bad loss at all. So, um, I think he could have won that, but Diego was just much smarter in the fight. Jean Silva did too much, pressuring when he wasn't really getting the jab going. A big reason I think Gene will start to rise up and maybe even become a champion. This is one of the guys I do think can become a champion. He is one of the hardest hitters, if not the hardest hitter, in the 145-pound division. He has grappling. We've seen that against Bryce Mitchell, but that's not really aging too well. Seeing Bryce Mitchell move down to bantamweight. Um, so I think if Jean Silva can get his mind right, use his fight IQ, he can become a superstar in the next coming years. Now for Jose Delgado, um, obviously he got robbed in this last fight. Um, if you don't think so, you're crazy, but it's okay. It was a great fight when he fought Nathaniel Wood. He had a great performance in that fight. Jose Delgado, very young, 24 years old, so he's another prospect. He has time to build. He has some highlight reel KO finishes. He had some okay takedown defense against Nathaniel Wood, and I think that'll just keep improving as time goes on. And he seems like he can adapt in a fight. So, really, really smart kid. And as long as he adapts to problems, I think he can be a very high ranked contender in the future, possibly future champion. But I think it's too late to call that now. Um, this next one, I'm probably going to get a little shit for having Mauricio Rufy on this, but um, and maybe for Quillen Salkill too. But it's recency bias, you know. And also, I want to point out that there are other contenders in these weight classes, like in the 145-pound division. Diego Lopez is a superstar. I'm just trying to do some other ones that people don't talk about as much and some younger guys. So, Quillen Salkild, recency bias. Don't know if this will age well in the future. Coming in on 10 days' notice and sleeping Nazareth Haqparast in the very first round is insane. You have to put this guy on the list, you know? He's only had a couple fights in the UFC. Um, really good knockouts, really young too, only 25 years old. He talks a little shit on the mic. He did a little celebration with a cigarette in his last fight, which was cool. That got him some attention from the fans, especially from Australia. Um, Australia is really good at hyping up their contenders, um, calling out someone in the lightweight division. Um, you know, he's only had a few fights. You, I feel like you need to give him someone in the top 15. Even if it's a number 15 ranked guy, I don't care. Just do it, you know? The UFC owes him a favor for, he had a crazy knockout like that, and then coming in on a couple days' notice doing that is pretty insane. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He has the knockout power. Granted, it was Nazareth Haqparast, not the greatest fighter, but he's still on a quick rise. Um, Now for Mauricio Rufy, um, didn't look great in his last fight, obviously, getting taken down and ragdolled by BSD. I wouldn't say ragdolled, but BSD's really slow. He's not the greatest fighter in the lightweight division. There's room for improvement. He knows that. He should have known that BSD was gonna want to go to the ground. Takedown defense wasn't holding up well. Um, so He should have known that BSD was going to hold him on the ground and try to get a submission. Should have practiced some more ground control for that fight. Other than that, I think Mauricio Rufy can be a star. I know the UFC wants to boost him. They gave him a number 15 spot after the loss to BSD. It might have been before the fight. I'm not 100% sure. So as long as he can kind of stay consistent, I think he's going to be up there in the rankings. He talks some shit, beefing with Islam, saying that he'd whoop him. Um, got a little too big for his pants, obviously. But right now, with how low Rufy's grappling is, I can't see him as a champion, but there is a lot of room for improvement for the kid. So, um, next up, 170, Michael Morales and Sean Brady. Um, I do have Shavkat in the mix on this too, but his injuries are really holding him back from being a superstar. A lot of people don't talk about him right now, so before anybody gets upset, I do think that Shavkat is going to be, well, I can't even say for sure because he gets injured so much, so we'll see. But right now, Sean Brady and Michael Morales, whoever wins this fight is going to be the next big superstar for the 170-pound division. So, I think both guys can still be superstars, but they're both really skilled. Morales is a lot younger, so he has a ways to go yet. Sean Brady just getting into his prime at 31. Morales is a very powerful striker, really good takedown defense. Sean Brady has really good jiu-jitsu. He needs to keep a high guard in this fight against Morales. If he wants to win, you can't be putting your hands down, otherwise this guy will sleep you. So for right now, I'm leaning Morales. Um, and if he wins this fight, I think he's going to be a superstar, 100%. So, you know, Sean Brady just got TKO'd by Bilal not too long ago. So maybe his striking defense has improved. But I believe one of these guys is going to be superstar very soon. Um, yeah, and then obviously Shavkat too, but the injuries kind of holding that guy back. So next up, here's one I couldn't really think of two guys for, but Anthony Hernandez. I would have had RDR on this list not too long ago, but not after that performance against Brendan Allen. Anthony Hernandez made Roman Kopylov his bitch, plain and simple, you know? There's no arguing. He was literally just playing with his food for a little bit and then said, all right, let me submit him now. So, crazy pressure by Fluffy, great cardio, solid chin too. He's got an injury problem as well, same with Shavkat. We were supposed to see him versus RDR, but he got injured. So, according to Sean Strickland yesterday, he's fighting Fluffy next. So, we're going to see Fluffy Hernandez and Sean Strickland fight. I'm not sure on that, but I'd probably lean towards Fluffy right now. He's got a lot of hype rising up after that win against Roman Kopylov. Next up, I have Azamat Murzakanov. Azamat is 16-0, just slept Alexander Rakic. I want to give him his flowers, but at the same time, it's Alexander Rakic, you know? He's got a pretty shitty chin, but it was also off a jab that wasn't even full force. He was just peppering it. So I do think that was impressive. He's explosive. He's technical. He has that background in wrestling, so he's pretty comfortable on the ground when he does get taken down. But he's on a pretty big rise right now. 6-0 in the UFC. I think you should shoot this guy up the rankings. Maybe give him a Khalil Roundtree or maybe an Ankalaev. I really don't want to see Khalil get TKO'd again, so hopefully Magomed Ankalaev. I don't think the UFC is going to want Magomed Ankalaev up in the title picture for a while. and I know they don't like him, so you could probably shoot him up there. But I think Azamat Murzakanov beats a lot of guys that are um, in the light heavyweight division. Uh, Next up in the heavyweight division, Mario Pinto and Steven Asplund are my picks for this. Um, I think this is one where both of these guys might fight at some point. So I think that'd be a great fight. We have not seen a lot from Steven Asplund. Seen a good amount from Mario Pinto, but starting off with um, Steven Asplund, bit of a hot take, but if you don't know Steven Asplund, he just came off the Contender Series. He got a knockout in about 16 seconds. His opponent was talking a lot of shit. I had his opponent in that winning, but Steven Asplund got it done in 16 seconds. Might have been less than that. Really funny guy. Um, he's talking about Dana, suck your toes, please sign me. Really cool story as well. He was 500 pounds. He lost a bunch of weight, and now his dream has come true to be in the UFC. He's a warrior, heavy hands, obviously. I do need to see quite a bit more from this guy, but the heavyweight division would be like 85ers, but they don't want to cut the weight, so um, you don't really need to be super quick. Um, well, I guess you kind of need to be quick, and this guy is quick. He's smart too, and I think if you're those two things, you can make it in the heavyweight division. So, um, hot take there with Steven Asplund being a future superstar, especially with the way he talked in his post-fight interview to Dana White. I think that's a good look for him and the fans gaining a fan base around him. Now for Mario Pinto, another funny guy, cracking jokes. Um, as I said in a previous video, I'm very high on this guy. Another undefeated prospect, 11 and 0. Had a funny press post-fight speech saying he doesn't speak English. He was speaking in like Portuguese. Um, so, and then he comes out with the fattest British accent ever, and then goes on to speak English perfectly. I thought that was hilarious. Um, he didn't seem to gas out in his last fight. He kept the pace really well, and I like that about him a lot. He looks much better than Asplund, and I could definitely see these two guys fighting in the future. I think this could be a great fight. I think both guys are going to face some adversity. I think a lot of other guys on this list are going to face adversity. So, um, those are my picks for who are the next superstars in the UFC. Let me know your thoughts. But that's all I got today. Thanks for watching. See you later.